Welcome to Big Red Leads. I'm Big Red, getting you and your business back to the black. Oh, we got a few things to talk about today, but I really wanted to touch base with everybody today. It's one of those moments when it's like, what are you fighting for? Like, what are you putting in the time, effort, giving up mad energy, possibly money, even the emotional cost of being in a situation when you are not quote unquote prepared for the actual outcomes that are coming, such as let's say you're working in your business, let's say you're working at your job or your career, you're working within that field, even your relationships. um, I'm pretty sure most of you who watch this channel, you've heard the would you rather be a warrior in a garden or be a gardener in a war? And a lot of things that particular message is layered. A lot of things in that is layered. And when I'm saying layered, like, think about it. Like, a warrior more than likely is emotionally, mentally, physically prepared for any situation that might come about. Correct? A gardener is probably prepared for things dealing with just the garden, not necessarily things outside of the garden. So put yourself in that situation and really think about, are you truly prepared for your business to go through a transition where maybe you have to bring in more staff, maybe you have to let some people go. Same thing with your job. Maybe you're not prepared for these projects that your quote unquote manager has presented to you. Whatever the situation might be, you have to know when to stop fighting, when to let go. I'm not telling you to quit, but what I am saying is, when you know it's pretty much a stalemate and nothing new is coming, good or bad, good or bad, when do you walk away from a situation? Now, when it comes to your relationships, when is it time to walk away? Well, you hear people say it, and a lot of times, let's be honest about relationships today. When people are talking about, like, she's my piece or he's my piece, do they really mean that, or does this person have something, an attribute or characteristic that aligns with your chaos, if you will? If I'm pretty much at peace 95% of the time, I'm pretty even keeled, if you will. Not much is going to shake me. And my partner is very uptight, and everything is a drama, if you will. Everything is excelled to a level of, like, okay, what are we doing here? Like freaking out over every little thing. How long do you think that that's actually going to work? If I'm the catalyst in the relationship, if I'm the one who is the momentum go getter in the relationship, because you have dynamics within a relationship that either are going to work together or not. Like, I hate to say it to a lot of people. A lot of people out here are in relationships that have nothing to do with the individuals coming together and compromising in spaces where compromise needs to happen. We're talking about people who are not going to compromise on the fact that if my partner makes this amount of money, this is the only reason I'm really with them, is the money. I really don't care about their actual well being. That's sad to say, but it's just the truth. So, where is your peace? If you're one of those people who claim that your partner is your peace, okay, what do they bring and present to you that makes them peaceful, or a space of peace? And what about you that you're obviously not paying attention to is not peaceful? We're not talking about your willingness to fight and do whatever it takes to to execute on a plan. We're not talking about those type of things. We're talking about you just in a relationship. Are you the warrior, Or are you the gardener? See, understand that expression alone, a warrior is at peace most of the time until they don't have to be, until they need to be something else that they've already prepared for. At a certain point, there's going to be moments in any relationship that you're just going to have to say, you know what? I've had enough. And I'm not saying I can do bad by myself, but I need to let you go because I actually care for you. That's going to have to happen. Especially if this is a repeated thing and a theme of your relationship. Like, it kills me when I see people together that fight all the time. It's like, at what point do both of you put your swords and shields down? Especially if this is a loving relationship. People's relationship with money. Bad spending habits. You're spending money on things that are quote unquote wants, desires, and not necessarily necessities, but you don't have any of the quote unquote essentials to keep yourself out of survival mode that are necessities in place. Do you have several months of savings put away? Do you have like a rainy day fund? There's a list of things that we can go down, and it's like, okay, if you're not checking off any box, not just maybe a few, if you're not checking off any of these boxes of necessities, obviously you're still in a space of survival mode. Look at your spending habits. Well, if I'm out here buying designer this, designer that, designer this, and my rent isn't paid, or my car note isn't paid, my insurance isn't paid, what are we doing around here? Like, you're creating chaos for yourself because you're pushing the reality of the situation down the road, or kicking the can down the road, thinking that, oh well, I'll take care of that later, when in fact all you're doing is accumulating more problems instead of just cutting it off, because that behavior is becoming cancerous. Cutting it out, getting rid of it, and becoming the best version of yourself. If you're not at peace with who you are, then you start to resent things, like people. You start to resent behaviors of people that you recognize within yourself. Understand, all of this is relationship. Shout out to Zoe Williams. All of this is relationship. Relationship to your children, relationship to your grandparents, relationship to your quote unquote girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, spouse. Like, you are in your coworkers, your manager, your boss, your employees. They're going to show up, these other people outside of you, and show you something that needs to be worked on within yourself. And a lot of times, most people don't have the emotional intelligence to recognize the issues within themselves by looking at others. Does this person's behavior strike something in you, strike a chord in you that's like, ooh, I don't like that? Why don't you like it? Because they behave that way. Why don't you like that they react and respond to situations this way? What is it about you not liking it makes it right or wrong in the eyes of the actual person who's actually doing said thing? There's something within you. Now, let's be real about it. There's love and there's fear. People say hate is the opposite of... No, it's not. It's fear. There's no fear in the space of love. That's why being vulnerable is the most powerful thing when it comes to actually connecting with others outside of yourself. So, once again, are you the warrior in the garden, or are you the gardener at war? Like, I'm asking these questions because these questions have been brung up several times throughout the years with clients. It's like, how do I handle a situation with my wife who has crazy, crazy, horrible spending habits, and our business is flourishing, but most of the allocated funds she has access to goes out the door on some red bottoms? Sounds like you have a serious problem. One, you're not willing to confront the issue head on. Doesn't mean that you love that person any less or more. It just simply means that the conversation needs to happen. Because if it's starting to affect you, the provider in this situation, the one who's executing in this situation, the one who's putting in the long hours, the one who's actually dedicating themselves to this craft, this skill, this niche business, whatever it is, don't let it be your purpose, because you'll cut that person off in a heartbeat. We're talking about this today because it needs to be discussed more. What's more important, your purpose or your partner? A lot of people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. I can see in the comments now, my partner. My partner is more important. Really? Really? Because once an individual, especially an intimate relationship, once an individual loses respect for you, it's hard to get it back. And here's the thing. Most of the time, not all the time, most of the time, the person who has the ability to forgive, they don't, deep down. Because what you're doing is you're turning something that's supposed to be love based into a fear based action, which is, I'm going to stop doing this because you don't like it, to make you happy. And at the same time, that individual will probably lose respect for you even more. So the question is, which is more important, your purpose or your partner? A lot of people don't want to answer that question. But if you're really on your dean, if you're really on your purpose, if you're really here for a particular reason, and you're presenting it to the world, and the world is loving you back, whether it be financially, whether it be just emotionally supporting you, whether it be patronizing your business, whatever it might be, it's not necessarily a reward, but they're acknowledging what you're doing and how you're doing it. Someone who's not appreciating that, they might need to go. And for some of you, I know you've been in a long relationship. I had a client a few years back, like they were in a 14-year marriage. And the husband was the one with the bad spending habits. Now, I'm not telling you to get divorced. I'm not telling you, it's not my place. But if someone's not willing to change, even if it's temporary, for the betterment of the group, it might be time to go. If they're not bringing any peace to the table, it might be time to go. So I want you to think about that next time. Are you prepared for the situations that come with it? Are you a warrior in your field? Are you a warrior in what you do? Are you a gardener? Nothing wrong with gardening, but love you all. I know it's a lot. It's a lot. We are simply mirrors, reflecting back to each other some things we might need to work on, some things we might need to improve upon. And every relationship that you have in your day to day is that vital and that important. So acknowledge it, recognize it, and see what you can get better at. Every single day. Every single day. Love you all. Have a great one. This is Big Red. Hit the like button. Share this video. Talk to you later, my friends. Peace.